What's a good way to wrap up the last day of Cheese Week number 5? I think heading to the Jura Mountains of France is a good place to go. And today I'm going to taste a cheese, which is Morbier. This cheese right here has quite the interesting history, and it was even banned in the United States for nearly a decade. Now, the Jura Mountain region of France is also where Comté cheese comes from. I did a Comté tasting during Cheese Week just in this last week. Now, as you can see right here, Comté and Morbier are both AOP cheeses. This particular one is by Fromagerie Jean-Perrin. This cheesemaker right here, I believe, is responsible for initially bringing Morbier back to the United States. They have a wonderful website, which is Jean-Perrin and .com will take you there. Uh, it has a lot of interesting history on all of their types of cheeses. Now, it's my understanding that back in 2010, the US FDA tightened restrictions on certain ingredients that could be contained in cheeses. And I have heard two different conflicting stories from cheesemongers on two different coasts. One had told me that the USDA banned Morbier due to the fact that they had never approved the use of ash inside of cheese. Now, another cheesemonger on the other coast told me that the USDA tightened restrictions for the amount of generic E. coli that could be contained in cheeses. And I don't know which one of these is exactly accurate, but whatever happened, it did cause a ban of this cheese in America for nearly a decade. Now, it seems like this cheese just can't get a break. Uh, it was even banned in Canada, or actually not banned, but it was recalled in Canada in early 2025 because of the same thing, E. coli contamination. Now, I have seen Morbier cheese pronounced two different ways, and this is also a variance from coast to coast. I have heard it pronounced by cheesemongers in the San Francisco Bay Area as Morbay. And I have also seen that use at a cheese shop in 2006, where I first have tasting notes of this cheese, where the cheesemonger there in New York City also called it Morbay, but technically it is pronounced Morbier. So taking a little look at the history of this cheese back in the Jura Mountains of France, it dates back to the 19th century. And originally, farmers were producing it by covering leftover evening curds with soot or ash, often just from their chimneys. And they were using it to protect it from insects at night and to preserve it. And then they added morning curds later, and that's what caused its signature black layer going through the cheese. Now, the cheese that I have right here that does have this signature black layer in it, this is not chimney ash right here. This is actually vegetable ash. And it's my understanding that Fromager Jean Perrin was initially responsible for bringing Morbier cheese back to the United States by working with the US FDA and getting his recipe approved. That way we could enjoy it again. Now, originally developed by farmers that didn't have enough milk to create full wheels of Comté, they used the remaining curds for a separate, smaller cheese. And, historically, the ash from the fireplace was to prevent the rind from forming on the first batch of the curd overnight. And while traditionally it was made from chimney ash, modern producers started using vegetable ash in the 19th century. Now, it has AOC control. The characteristic of it is a raw milk. It has a washed rind and a creamy texture with a nutty, mild flavor. It was originally made for consumption just in the Jura region, but it gained popularity worldwide, which led to its popularity in the United States, then its 10-year ban, and then its return in late 2025. So yes, you can get this cheese again. Now, let's take a look at my package here, and I'm going to taste this. Morbier, semi-hard cheese, a product of France. And look at that absolutely gorgeous. Uh, this cheese is photogenic with that gorgeous vegetable ash stripes going through the center of it, kind of like a blue cheese. Now, taking a look at the ingredients, this here is 100% raw cow's milk, salt, lactic starters, animal rennet, vegetable ash. And I'm not going to read the nutritional facts. You know why? I don't care because it's not going to stop me from eating it. So, and neither is this. I'm not scared of E. coli and I'm not scared of vegetable ash. So let's take a look at when I cut this thing open here. This has been in my own personal cheese aging cooler between 3 to 6 degrees Celsius for the last 3 months. I purchased this in December of 2025 at a local co-op, which had just imported it. And the suggested sell-by date on the package was mid-January of 2026 due to the fact that they had cut it out of a wheel. And that's the date that they had to give it. Now, here's another glimpse of little bit of a food porn image here of Morbier with that beautiful ash layer in the middle. Now, take a look to the right. Looks like a little bit of mold, doesn't it? Yes, it is. So it was time to get this cheese open and go ahead and enjoy it. Yes, I did cut that mold end off. I have consumed white cheese mold before, and it never hurt me. Your mileage may vary. Now, here's the other end right here with a rather rustic and primal view of what's left of the label after coming all the way from the Jura Mountains and somehow making its way into San Francisco. And another view of it right here. You can see a little bit more of the white cheese or the white mold developing on the cheese there at the bottom of this side. That side was cut off and discarded. And then finally, here are two cross-cut sections of the ones that I'm about to taste. Let's see what it's like. I've had this in 2006, according to a tasting note from a cheese tasting event in Manhattan. And I also had it somewhere around 2010 in Texas at my friend's French bistro. He recommended it. Okay, it has a little bit of funk on the nose. It definitely has some farmhouse rustic activity going on the nose. This is going to be a complex one right here. All right, I'm just going to go ahead and taste this whole piece with the cross section of the vegetable ash. Okay, it breaks in half. When you do that, it immediately breaks in half, which would lead me to believe that this is going to break on the ash. Yep, look at that. It did. It broke directly on the ash layer. And there's that gorgeous, famous, now vegetable ash layer, which led to Morbier being banned in the United States for almost a decade. I'm getting butterscotch, undeniably. Butterscotch is all there, and I'm getting a little bit of forest floor. This is absolutely lovely right here. How would I rate this? There's no reason not to give this a 10 of a 10. No reason whatsoever. This is luscious. It is complex. I'm almost getting a little bit of a hint of pine needles. Plenty of rich milk and curd coming through loud and clear. The texture is like eating raw butter. Exactly the same texture as taking a slice of salted butter and just popping it in your mouth. That's what the texture is like. This melts in your mouth. Now, as far as melting it, would I put this on a blue cheese or on a grilled cheese sandwich? Probably not, because it is a tad expensive. This one right here is about $50 a pound. That's why I only bought a small piece of it. And this will all be consumed within one setting. Now, as far as food pairings, yes, any type of Napa or Sonoma Pinot Noir would be absolutely sufficient. I don't drink wine, but if I did, I would pair this with a nice, wonderful quality red. Um, as far as melting it into mac and cheese, I'll leave that for the rich people. I'm absolutely certain that it would work, but I would not add anything else to it to add to the flavor, such as black pepper or any additional ingredients, because this stands alone as a 10/10 world-class cheese. So there you are. Look around at your local cheese shops. Ask ask them, do you have a Morbier? And one that I would actually recommend highly is Jean-Perrin Fromagerie from the Jura Mountains of France. This concludes Cheese Week number 5. Now, will there be a bonus cheese episode? Possibly. Let's see. There's been a hint to that right here at the end of this video already. Until next time, enjoy your fine cheeses. And you don't have to pay $50 a pound for cheese. And if you want to try a fine one like this, have the cheesemonger cut you off a small sample, and it's not that expensive. So enjoy your cheeses. If you like videos like this, give me a subscribe. I enjoy making them, and there's definitely more to come. There will absolutely be a Cheese Week 6 soon. Peace out from San Francisco.